Harry Potter wouldn't be Harry Potter without charms and spells. That's why in today's video we'll be discussing 20 of the most useful spells in Harry Potter. And just to make it clear, I'm gonna rank these spells as how important they were to the trio in time of need. So let's get started. Number 20. Wingardium Leviosa. The levitation charm is a spell used to make objects fly or levitate, but also allowing them to magically move freely. Hermione used this spell on her first year and was the first student to master it, after she taught Ron how to do it correctly. The spell was also used by Ron to defeat the troll. It was used again by Harry in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries and the Battle of Seven Potters. Portus. The Portkey spell was a charm used to turn an ordinary object into a portkey. We first saw the portkey in the Goblet of Fire book, where the Weasleys and the others were transported to the Quidditch World Cup. Dumbledore also used the portkey in the series. When Arthur was attacked, the portkey carried the Weasley with Harry to 12 Grimmauld Place. Langlock. It was a jinx that caused one's tongue to affix to the roof of their mouth. In short, it prevents people from speaking out loud. The spell was invented by Severus Snape while he was a student. Harry later found out about the spell when he gained possession of the Half-Blood Prince textbook. Harry used Langlock on Argus Filch twice during the school year and again on Peeves. Number 17. Aguamenti. The water-making spell was a charm that conjured a jet of clean drinkable water from the tip of the caster's wand. The spell was used by Harry to fill the crystal goblet with water for Dumbledore in the cave, also to put out the fire on Hagrid's hat in the Battle of Astronomy Tower, and to douse Grab's faint fire during the Battle of Hogwarts. Number 16. Confundo. The Confundus charm is a charm which confuses and misdirects the target. The charm was used by Barty Crouch Jr. to fool the Goblet of Fire into accepting Harry's name under a fourth school. Harry used it on 3 wizards outside the main entrance of Gringotts, and Snape on Mundungus Fletcher to suggest the Seven Potters plan, which was Snape's idea. Reductor. The Reductor curse is a curse that blasts solid objects to pieces. Harry taught this curse to Dumbledore's army during his 5th year. Harry learned the spell before the 3rd test of the Triwizard Tournament. He used it in the maze to try to dispel the Limbo Mist that was placed there as an obstacle, and also again when he needed to blast away a bush to get through to save Cedric. The curse was also used by the trio, Neville, Luna and Ginny in the Department of Mysteries. Number 14. Obliviate. The memory charm is a charm that could be used to erase specific memories from the target's mind. Gilderoy Lockhart rose to fame by using the spell, which was the only spell he can perform without fail. The same curse turned on him when it backfired and wiped all of his memory. Hermione used the spell in multiple times during the Horcruxes Hunt, 3 times after the duel in a coffee, and once on Xenophilius Lovegood for not telling the Death Eaters that Ron was with them. Number 13. Petrificus Totalis. The Full Body Bind curse is a curse that temporarily frees the target. Hermione used this spell again against Dolohov, and Harry used it multiple times during the Horcruxes Hunt. Number 12. Peertotum Locomotor. The charm is used to bring life to those artifacts that had been unmoving. One of the famous uses of the spell was by McGonagall to animate the Hogwarts suits of armor and statues to fight in the Battle of Hogwarts. Number 11. De Primo. It was a charm that blasted holes in the ground. It was strong enough to shatter the floor of an entire room in a matter of seconds. Hermione used this spell in the Lovegood's house and they managed to escape from the Death Eaters. Number 10. Repelo Muggletum. The Muggle Repelling charm is a charm that prevents Muggle from seeing or entering an area. Every inch of the Quidditch Stadium was covered in such charm for the 1994 Quidditch World Cup. Any no-magic person that would get close would remember something urgent to do and leave. Hogwarts Castle is also protected by the charm. Number 9. The Firestorm. It was a charm that could conjure a lasso made purely of flame. Albus Dumbledore used this spell in Harry's 6th year to ward off the Inferi in the Crystal Cave. Number 8. Imperio. The Imperious Curse was one of the 3 unforgivable curses. When cast, the curse places the victim completely under the caster's control. The reason why I included Imperio and not the other 2 unforgivable curses is because they're not useful. Killing or torturing someone will not help you in anything. You don't need to use these spells unless if you want to. But Imperio is another thing. Harry used it 3 times in order for the trio to break into Gringotts. Harry really needed to do that, because without it, they wouldn't be able to get in, and they wouldn't be able to get the Horcrux and destroy it. Number 7. Alohomora. The Unlocking Charm is a charm that unlocks objects such as doors or windows. The spell was used by Voldemort to break into the Potters' home before killing them, and also Hermione used this spell many times in the books. Number 6. Lumus Nox. The Wand Lighten Charm was a charm that illuminates the tip of the caster's wand, allowing them to see in the dark. The spell was used many times throughout the series, and it's considered one of the most useful spells that you can use everywhere. Number 5. Stupefy. The Stunning spell is a charm that stuns the target, rendering them unconscious. This charm was exceptionally useful in dueling, as it can quickly end a duel without causing lasting damage. Harry taught this spell to Dumbledore's army, and it was one of the spells that are used in every duel by almost all the characters in the series. Number 4. Protego. The Shield Charm is a charm that protects the caster with an invisible shield that reflects spells and blocks physical entities. Harry used this spell in many times in the books, like in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries and the Battle of Hogwarts. Number 3. Accio. The Summoning Charm is a charm that summons an object toward the caster. The spell can be used in a daily wizard life. Harry learned about the spell in his 4th year at Hogwarts, where it helped him a lot during the Triwizard Tournament, like summoning his broomstick in the first task, or summoning the Triwizard Cup in order to escape from Voldemort. Number 2. Expecto Patronum. The Patronus charm is the most famous and one of the most powerful defensive charms known to wizardkind. It was complicated and extremely difficult spell. It was the primary protection against Dementors, which there were no other defense. Harry took anti-Dementor lessons with Remus Lupin in order to learn the advanced charm, and so was one of the youngest to attempt his charm with actual results. During a Quidditch match against Ravenclaw in the same year, he cast his very first Patronus when several Slytherin students were impersonating Dementors. He performed the charm again in June when he, along with Hermione and Sirius, were being attacked by over 100 of Dementors, so he cast a Patronus powerful enough to drive them all away. In his 4th year, Harry cast the charm against a Boggart that he thought was a Dementor during the 3rd task of the Triwizard Tournament. The following summer, he came under attack by 2 Dementors and managed to drive them away with the charm, leading to him being put on trial for underage magic in an attempt to discredit him. Harry also taught the charm to members of Dumbledore's army, and some were even successful in casting it. The charm was used frequently to ward off Dementors, such as when the trio escaped from the Ministry of Magic after obtaining the Horcrux lockets and during the Battle of Hogwarts. Severus Snape also conjured his due Patronus to guide Harry to the hiding place of the Sword of Gryffindor. And finally, number 1. Expelliarmus. The Disarming Charm is a charm that forces whatever the target was holding to fly out of their hand. It was common to see this spell used in duels to make them lose their wand. The spell was the most useful one to Harry, as he used it almost every time he's in trouble. The very first person who taught the spell to Harry was Severus Snape, and the first person Harry used the spell on in the movies was Severus Snape himself.
You dare use my own spells against me, Potter?
The Disarming Charm became Harry's signature spell. It helped him dueling Lord Voldemort in Little Hankleton. Harry even taught the whole Dumbledore's army members the Disarming spell, which helped them all during the Battle of the Department of Mysteries. And it was the spell that caused the death of Lord Voldemort during the Battle of Hogwarts by rebounding his killing curse, because the Elder Wand recognized Harry as its master through the spell connection, and thus threatened the Disarming Charm to the point that Voldemort's killing curse backfired on him. That was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one about the spells in Harry Potter. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope seeing you again in a new video.